Welcome to a journey into the heart of randomness. Have you ever wondered why, in a world of chaos, so many things, from the heights of people to the errors in scientific measurements, cluster around a beautiful, symmetrical bell shape? Today, we are visualizing the magic of the Central Limit Theorem, the cornerstone of modern statistics. To understand the theorem, we first need to look at the ingredients: random variables. Imagine a world where every process has its own unique distribution. A uniform distribution is like a fair die, where every outcome is equally likely. An exponential distribution might describe the time between phone calls at a tech support center, mostly short waits, but occasionally very long ones. On their own, these distributions look nothing like a bell curve. Now, let's introduce the concept of sampling. If we take a single person from a crowd, their height tells us very little about the average. But what if we take a group of 30 people and calculate their average height? This single value is called a sample mean. The magic begins when we repeat this process thousands of times, collecting thousands of sample means. The law of large numbers tells us that as our sample size grows, the sample mean gets closer to the true population mean. But the central limit theorem goes further. It doesn't just tell us where the center is, it tells us the shape of the uncertainty. Regardless of whether the original data was flat, skewed, or weirdly shaped, the distribution of the means will always converge to a normal distribution as the sample size n increases. Let's see this in action with a Galton board, or Quincunx. Invented by Sir Francis Galton, this device drops balls through a triangular grid of pegs. Each ball has a 50-50 chance of going left or right at each peg. Each ball's final position is the result of many independent random steps. As the balls accumulate at the bottom, they inevitably form the Gaussian bell curve. This is the CLT working in real time. Mathematically, the theorem states that for a large enough sample size n, the sampling distribution of the mean will have a mean equal to the population mean mu and a standard deviation equal to the population standard deviation sigma divided by the square root of n. This sigma over square root of n is what we call the standard error. As n grows, the bell gets skinnier and taller, pinpointing the truth with increasing precision. Why does this matter in the real world? It's why pollsters can predict elections by talking to only 1,000 people. It's how quality control engineers at companies like Intel or Toyota know if a machine is out of alignment. If the average weight of a batch of components falls too far from the center of the bell curve, they know it's not just random noise, it's a signal that something is wrong. Finally, let's look at confidence intervals. Because we know the shape of the bell, we can say with 95% certainty that the true population parameter lies within about 2 standard errors of our sample mean. This allows us to quantify our ignorance and transform it into reliable scientific knowledge. The CLT is the bridge between the messy, unpredictable reality and the elegant world of mathematics. References: 1. Casella, G. and Berger, RBL, 2002, Statistical Inference, Duxbury. 2. Rice, J.A., 2006, Mathematical Statistics and Data Analysis, Cengage Learning. 3. Gujarati, D.N.A., 2003, Basic Econometrics, McGraw-Hill. 4. John E. Frand, Mathematical Statistics with Applications,